to feed you today. I hope you are hungry. I hope you are hungry because you're going to get so much food for your mind, for your thought. We have huge topics today. But before I get into today's topic, I need you to do me a favor. If you're in the clubhouse room, I need you to go to the top and join the family. And if not, bwcdaily.com. Oh my gosh, I love this. I was on our site yesterday, and at the top it was blinking, Ramon Ray is live. Well, Ramon is live. And I clicked it, and it brought me right to the room, and I loved it. So if you want to be a part of this community, Breakfast with the Champions, we're here Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. till about 11. Motivation, finances, you name it, fitness, entrepreneurship. This is the place that's going to fuel you. I'm here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. You can also go on the school app. Oh my gosh, I love the school app because, and I invited all my people, you get so many nuggets in every area, not just for your mind, your body, your soul. So go on over to the school app, join us. We absolutely love it. As you mentioned, I'm Tina, and today you are here for the Elevate Your Health show. What is it all about? It's about your health. Hello there, Natasha. And if you guys want to see my face, if you want to get on the inside, you can jump on over to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. But I'm loving my clubhouse people. I always love starting my segments, just saying hello to everyone in here. And I personally love to scroll to the bottom, right? I see Ashley, Agnes, Cameron, Ha, Sol, Dian. And these are the people with the red tickets. If you have a red ticket, go on up to the top and grab it and join the family. I see Carla. I see Bella Bell. Ramon, you had an awesome segment scrolling up. I see Linnell. I see my mother in the Bella. Malika Star. Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Natasha in Health Wells. Let me tell you, if you're here, you're definitely in the right place. And today's topic is going to be a little spicy, guys. It's a little spicy. But before we get into today's topic, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. If you didn't know, I am Tina. Some people call me StarzTina because I love the stars. I love doing big, amazing things. And I think of it like this. Shoot for the moon, and if you fall, you're still amongst the stars. That's how I came up with StarzTina. I am a faith-based wellness coach, and I became this because of things that happened in my life, right? I remember when I was in high school. Some of you guys can go back to like in the I graduated in 1990, but 1988, 1990, around there, I was in high school, and I always felt really, really big and fat. I'm 5'8", okay, 5'7" and 3/4. But anyway, 5'7" and 3/4. And when I was in high school, I was 130 pounds. And I remember I felt so fat because everyone was shorter than me. Everyone was smaller than me, right? And at the time, my confidence was low. From the outside, people looking at me, you didn't see that. But inside, I was like, ugh, I'm this big girl. So for most of my life, I've always felt as if I was huge, this huge whale, right? And as life went on, I did exercise, I did all the things, even though my weight was average. But then after 2 kids, after life, after stress, when I was in my 40s, my mother says to me, well, Tina, you're getting kind of fat. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you waiting to tell me it's not you're getting fat, you're already fat. I mean, she didn't say it like that. But is there anyone out there who's just like remembers your high school days? Maybe I'm the only one, right? And I felt like I was fat. Like I can't imagine what I would look like right now if I was 130 pounds. That would be kind of scary, right? But anyway, at this particular moment in time, I remember looking in my closet. And in my closet, I had all sizes of clothing. And the smallest I had ever been in my life was a size 9, 10. Men, you can't relate. It's like you have the children's clothing, 11, 12, 13, 14, it's kids' clothes, and then you jump to the adult clothes. And adult clothes, they have like 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, all that. But I jumped to a 9, 10. So in my closet, I had clothes from like a size 9, 10, all the way up to like a 14, 16. Then you get the extra large and the 2X because you really don't want to like get the numbers anymore because the numbers get ridiculous. And I got sick and tired of looking at all the clothes in the closet. Inside the thighs of my pants was like ripping apart because my thighs were so fat. It's like it was just messing up the inside of the pants. And it was very frustrating. And we all get that aha moment that something's got to change, right? So almost every Monday, actually it started on Sunday. On Sunday, I was like, I'm starting my diet on Monday. Every Sunday I would say that. And then Monday I would wake up, I'd be at Dunkin' Donuts. Can I get a French vanilla light and sweet culotta, please? Just like me, extra whipped cream, extra sugar. And can I get a croissant with, and then I started eating it. Oh my gosh, I forgot I was starting my diet today. Am I the only person who ever did that? Put a one in the chat if you used to be like that, if you are like that. Like every Monday, it seems like you're always starting over. So it finally got to a point. I was teaching classes at one point to children, because you can always do that. That was fun. But then there was this girl that used to work out with me, and this was my personal aha moment. I'm laying on the couch, scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, one of the two, I can't recall, probably Facebook. And I love that. And I noticed every morning this girl would post herself on the treadmill. She's on the treadmill and she's sweating, and I'm looking and I'm getting mad. I'm like, oh, she's working out. Is that the stupidest thing in the world? I'm getting mad because I'm sitting on the couch like a little fat blob and she's working out. So I was like, okay, Tina, do something about it. So I called her or texted her and I said, hey, and LaTanya is her name. I still know her to this day. I said, LaTanya, how many calories does it take to lose 1 pound? And she said, girl, I have no idea. Just come to the gym with me. Because she's one of those people where it's like, just do it, right? And I remember at the time I was living in New Jersey in Rahway, and she would go to this gym in Newark. And this gym, it wasn't your traditional gym. You know how you have the big box gyms like LA Fitness, New York Sports Center, or you have the classy ones like Equinox. No. It was nothing like that. This place was like where it was like the graveyard for the equipment. You had like old huge tires, like the equipment was just like horrible, but the energy, the love, the people, it was amazing, right? The coaches had so much grit, so much heart, and everyone was pushing. And that was my aha moment, right? And then I started doing 2 classes a day. Now, once I got to my fitness goal, which was, we all have this number we want on a scale, right? And for me at the time, it was 155, because what I did, there was another, I love Instagram, and it's all about manifestation, visualization. That's the thing I want to really hone in on, visualization. There was this girl on Instagram, her name is Massey Arias. She now lives in California. She used to live in New York. She's the same height as me. So I was like, okay, I want to look just like her. And at the time, she was 155 pounds. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get to 155 pounds. So I got to 155, love it, right? And then as time goes on, she got pregnant. And then after she had the baby, she lost weight. She went to like 140. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was very challenging. The point of this story is you have to create your own story, your own physical journey, what's best for you. Maybe it's the way you look. Maybe it's the way you feel. Maybe it's being able to pick up your groceries or go up the stairs, right? There's no perfect way to do it. And today's topic is all about GLP-1s, because I hear everyone talking about it all the time. But before we get into that, I'm going to open up the floor. This is going to be a Ask StarzTina segment. So we're going to be here for about 3 to 5 minutes, maybe longer, depending on you. I'm going to look in the chat. You can unmic if you're on the Clubhouse side. If you're on the other side, you can just type in your question. This is a section where it's your health and wellness journey, right? Maybe you're struggling with something and maybe you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to fix it. Let me put my little glasses on, look in the chat, or you can unmic for your question. Okay, Renee wrote a question here. She says, how many calories do I have to burn to lose 1 pound? I'll answer that right here. So I didn't even tell you guys my theory why I asked that question. So the reason why I wanted to know how many calories it took to lose 1 pound, in my crazy mind, if I knew how many calories, then I could exercise X amount of hours or time to burn the calories, and then I could eat, because I love to eat. I love chocolate cake. And by the way, it takes 3,500 calories to eliminate 1 pound. I don't like saying lose weight because when you lose something, you always want to find it. Now, I don't want to lose any weight. I don't want to find any weight that I got rid of. So I'm going to say eliminate fat. So 3,500 calories to eliminate 1 pound. And you can break that down to 500 calories a day. So if you're working out every day and you're like, okay, I'm going to burn 500 calories a day. And of course, you got to eat clean. That's 1 pound for the week. Now, I do see a question in the chat. Good morning, Aiden. Okay, here we go. Through the VA, I started the VA's Move group. It's required in order for me to be prescribed GLP-1. Awesome. Make sure I want you to come through for a conversation because we're going to have a conversation. So the question is, do you recommend the military diet or another diet or no diet at all? Oh, 1 second, guys. Thank you, Aiden. That's okay. So in this session of Ask StarzTina, and you're listening, the question is, do I recommend military diet, grapefruit diet, blah, 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 all these different types of diets? Well, let me tell you something, okay? I have probably tried I repeat, every single diet in the world. I'm 53 years old now. And as I mentioned earlier in my story, most of my life, I felt as if I was overweight. So, do I recommend a diet? No, I do not. Why do I not? First of all, when you look at the word diet, what are the first 3 letters? DIE. For me, I don't believe in diets because you start them, you end them, you start them, you end them, right? And then it's kind of like, good morning, Shar, over there on Instagram. Like when people come into the gym and like, okay, I'm getting married, or I'm going to a wedding, or my high school graduation's coming up, I want to look good. No, it's a lifestyle. Now, if you can use these types of diets, like the military diet, the grapefruit diet, the Beyonce diet, like I said, I've done them all. They work, yes, but then when you get off of it, you go back to your old horrible eating habits. So no, I do not suggest a diet to be consistent with it, right? So as we're jumping through, you are here. Breakfast with Champions is brought to you. And if you're liking what you're hearing, I want you to go to our site, bwcdaily.com. I repeat, bwcdaily.com. It's over there on the school app. So good. And in accordance with all this, we are giving out some free stuff. You guys know we are in June right now. We have so many great things happening in June, but 4th of July is coming. And this 4th of July, we are putting together a free virtual race for you. Yes, you and you. And some people may say, I don't run. It's okay. It's okay. First of all, you can grab a friend, enemy, a cousin, I don't care. It's going to be virtual, and you can do 1 mile, a 5K, or a 10K. And you can click the link, go to my Instagram to get more information about that. Aiden says, well, Tina, if you don't suggest a diet, what do you suggest? I suggest lifestyle changes, and we're going to get into that even deeper. So any other questions before I get started on today's topic? If so, on mic, say your name and ask your question. Otherwise, we're jumping into the topic. And Aiden, your question will be a part of that answer. So if you guys didn't know, GLP-1, I can't even say it, glucagon, it's a peptide. And it's something that your body, it's a hormone that your body naturally makes, right? And it helps control blood sugar. It slows down digestion. It's stuff that happens in your stomach. So pretty much what it is, it was created to help people that have diabetes or, some type of health issue to control how they eat. There's pros to it. There's cons to it. How does it work? Think of it like this. So have you ever been in a car and the music is just blaring? It's like all this noise, or you're somewhere and someone's like making all this noise. And then if you just turn the volume down, it gets so much easier to hear, easier to understand what's happening, right? That's what it does. So this medication, it mimics what our body naturally makes, and it just turns the volume down. So you're not screaming hungry, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I get kind of hangry, right? So right now I'm going to tell you the pros of it, and then I'm going to tell you the cons of it. And then I want to hear from you if you agree or if you don't agree. And that's a little bit of today's topic. It's going to go deeper, but that's where we're actually starting. So one of the biggest pros I've seen is significant weight loss. Put a 1 in the chat if you know anyone who has taken a GLP-1 and they've lost a lot of weight. I would love to know. I see people all the time. I lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. It's amazing. But the con of it is they lose a lot of muscle as well. After the age of 30, women, you tend to lose between 1 to 3% muscle a year. After 50, I'm 53. You lose between 3 to 5% of muscle a year. That's not good at all, because the older we get, the more muscle we need. Osteopenia, osteosporosis. These are things where your bones start breaking down, and then your bone breaks, and then you fall, and then your hip breaks, and all these things. That's why we have to have strong muscles. So that is the con of this right here. I had two quick stories. I had this lady come in and just, yes, I took a GLP, and so many women, I lost 40 pounds. And then I see like 5 inches of skin hanging from their arms. There's just skin hanging everywhere. Why? Because they didn't back it up with lifting weights. So the con is losing muscle. Now, there is another example I want to give you in regards to losing muscle. I had a client, and the craziest thing is, yes, it's great to have a coach, whether the coach is on the floor helping you with the exercises, but I believe it's even better to have that coach that's going to guide you with their words, right? And this particular lady, I'm not her personal training coach, but I guess you can say I'm her life and health coach. And she came to me last month, and at our gym, there's a scale. And on this scale, it tells your body fat, your lean muscle, your subcutaneous fat, your visceral fat. And if you're watching this and you are serious about your health and wellness journey, I want to suggest to you, I want to submit for your consideration to get this scale. You can actually go to my Amazon page and purchase it. This scale shows you everything you need to know about your health, because it's not just that number on the scale, right? That number on the scale, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but all of the other numbers are so important. For example, subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. Does anyone know what that means? Unmic if you know the difference, because I love having like interactive conversation here. If you know the difference between subcutaneous fat and visceral fat, unmic and let me hear.
I do. It's Natasha.
Go ahead, girl. Natasha, tell us.
Yes, the visceral fat is that fat that covers your organs with fat. Subcutaneous is the fat that's underneath the dermal. You got 3 stages of the skin, so the subcutaneous is right above it. But the visceral fat is the most detrimental one of all.
I love it. I love it. She said it better than I did, guys. If you're watching, that was Natasha. Natasha is amazing. So if you're watching me, you see right here, I'm pulling my skin. This right here is subcutaneous fat, the fat you can feel, you can touch. And as she said, the visceral fat, that's the fat around your organs, right? Your lung, your liver, your heart, all that stuff. And that's the most dangerous. If you have belly fat, not good. So when you get this scale, the scale is going to show you your range. Where are you? How much subcutaneous fat do you have on your body? How much visceral fat? So this client came to my office last month, and we put her on the scale. She was 270 and showed all her other numbers, how much, and then the lean muscle, right? How much muscle do you have in your arm, in your right arm, in your left arm? How much fat do you have in all areas of your body? So she came back this month, and I'm going over her numbers, and I had to double check because I'm like, is this right? She lost 20 pounds in a month, a little less than a month, because she came in early, 20 pounds. And she said, I haven't been doing that much cardio. Ay, papi chulo, yes, because we have to stay away from a lot of cardio as we get older. Why? Because cardio is just like not good for us. And it just lets your, I'm going to keep going because I'll go on with that topic there if I talk too much about it. So she says, I'm not doing too much cardio. I'm like, great. So I'm looking at her numbers, and she had lost muscle and she lost fat. And then I said, how much protein are you eating? And she told me her number of proteins. I'm like, that's good, but it's not good enough, because where she is, she had to have more protein. And then her question was, well, because the amount, and if you know, you need 0.8 to 1 pound of how much you weigh of protein. And then she said, is that how much you currently weigh or how much you want to weigh? So where her goal weight is, that's how much protein she should have. Long story short, she lost muscle and she lost fat, and because she wasn't having enough protein. And it's all about the data. It's all about the numbers, right? So as I was saying, the pro is significant weight loss. The con is you're losing muscle. Another pro about the GLP-1 is it gets you better. It lowers your blood sugar if you need that. And the con, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, fatigue, digestive, all these kind of issues there. So that's the second one. A third one is it reduces the food noise. Does it sometimes feel like a fire engine truck is screaming in your head, feed me? Or like the movie Feed Me Seymour, Little Shop of Horrors, Feed Me Seymour. Maybe it's just a fatty in me, but sometimes it's just like screaming so loud. And then if you wait too long, you're just like grabbing anything to eat, right? So that is a pro, is it reduces the noise in your head so you're not thinking, I need food so badly. Now, the con to that is the cost. I don't know how much it costs, but I've heard it's kind of expensive. Does anyone know the cost of these GLP-1s? If so, on Mike, I'm just curious. I guess I could have looked that up.
The cost, if you don't have insurance, is around $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month. Wow. Well, guess what, guys? I can help you with this because I've got my own GLP. That's what I'm sharing today. My GLP-1 formula, and it's a little cheaper than $1,000 a month. And now that I know it's 1,000, I should charge a little bit more. Okay, so the last pro about it is it improves everything with your body, right? The risks of heart disease. If you did not know, heart disease is the leading cause of death in America. That's one of the reasons why I'm extremely passionate about fitness. My father, who I love, like I was daddy's girl, died in his sleep when he was 49 years old from a massive heart attack. Looking at him from the outside, you would say, oh, he's healthy. He fixed houses, he painted houses, he worked on cars, he did everything, right? From the outside, he looked good. And I remember I was in college and I was in his truck. He was driving me and I was studying my nutrition course. And I'm looking at this particular section and I said, Daddy, everything on this list you have. You're Black, you're a male, you smoke cigarettes, you have high blood pressure, you have high cholesterol, you eat badly, you drink alcohol sometimes. And he had everything on there, right? And I think about it now, and all of that could have been avoided if knowledge, right? Diet and exercise. Same thing with my grandmother. She passed away. And there's so many people in my family. So that is why I'm so passionate. So today, it's all about my version of GLP-1 that you're absolutely going to love. And before we get into my version, I just want to let you know you're here, BWC, Breakfast with Champions. If you have not joined already, I want you to go to our site over there on bwcdaily.com. I repeat, bwcdaily.com. And my good partner, significant partner, Renee, she actually created an article for today's topic. So if you want even more information, it's over there on the school app. So get over there and get it. All right. So now we're going into open the mic if anyone has questions, comments about what I said before I get into my version of the GLP. Let me hear. Ooh.
I just wanted to add that I recommend that people who are considering the traditional GLP-1s do so under the guidance of a coach for the reasons you already mentioned.
Perfect.
About the muscle and a medical doctor, since GLP-1s were originally developed for diabetes.
Perfect. Thank you. I see here that Health put Manjaro typically runs about hello, Mary Lynn, $75 to $100 per week, depending on which pharmacy or if getting it directly from your healthcare provider without insurance in South Florida. Thank you so much for that, Health. And before we get into my topic, let's do our vote right now, okay? So you're going to put a 1 in the chat if you say, yes, I agree with GLP-1s, a 2 in the chat if you say, no, And a 3 if you're kind of, morning Portia, you're kind of in the middle, you kind of agree, you're not sure. So let me see some numbers. Tony says 2, Cindy says yes. I see some 2s where it's no, 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 no. I'm very shocked. End, not enter. What does that mean, Joyce? Jeannie says 1. Denny, I like that, Denny. Joyce, can you explain what end, not enter means? Maybe I'm reading it wrong. All righty. Maybe she can't. All right. So my response to this is, do I agree with GLP ones? I'm going to choose that number 3. But there is a catch to it. I do agree with it if you have coaching, and coaching with someone that's going to help you with your eating habits and with your exercise, because that's the key right there, right? Is the diet and the exercise. That's what's going to give you everything in a wonderful bow. Because I do realize a lot of people, there's many, and think about why you're eating. It's not just to feel good, but it's like that back trauma. And if you know anything about me, that is my thing, traumedy. Traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide, life-changing experiences occur. Everyone goes through it. What do you do to get over your traumedy? Maybe it's eating chocolate cake. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's drugs. Maybe it's sex, whatever it is, but you have to control it. And sometimes you need things like AA. It is AA, right? Alcohol's Anonymous. Maybe you need, and for some people, it's food and you cannot control it yourself. So if you do take the GLP ones, have a coach on the side of you. Because as Aiden asked earlier, what's the secret? How do I fix it, Tina? If I don't do diets, if I don't do GLP, well, then you're going to listen to me right now. And I'm going to give you all the answers that are coming through so that you can conquer this problem, right? And thank you guys for pulling through. Mary Lynn, try. Go ahead.
Yes. Wasn't on the stage before. I invited her up, so I didn't know if she wanted to get that clarification or not.
Yes, thank you, thank you. You know, I don't have my glasses on. Joyce, I would love to hear your comments about that, hon. If you're able to share, I would love that.
Hey, Tina, how are you?
Hey, girl, hey! I love your photo, by the way. Your hair looks amazing.
Thank you. I had a question up there that it wasn't spelled right. That's what the end was, not enter. So my question was, what's the end to these drugs? Everybody I've talked to, I have a lot of friends that are on it, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm on it for the rest of my life. So, I mean, I don't want to take something for the rest of my life if I don't have to. So I had that. I'll also share, I was out with 6 women at the table. I forget what I ordered, but I ordered an appetizer and I put it out on the table like this year. And only one other girl ate it because and I didn't even realize everybody at the table was on GLP-1. I mean, I knew they lost weight, but except 1 or 2 that their faces kind of had dropped. You definitely knew they lost weight. But I was like, oh, I just felt so awkward, like, oh. But you know, food to me is love and fuel, and I don't want, like, I thought about going on these because I have that last 15, 20 pounds I'm always working on. But in my head, I'm thinking, do I want to lose all my desires? You lose so many desires on this. So that's just my take on it. So
I love it. And I love that story. That had to be the funniest thing. You're out and
I'm like, oh, nobody's going to eat this. Yes, and they're all like, oh, we don't eat anything. You have to eat. I mean, it wasn't anything really bad either, but I'm like, you have to eat food to fuel your body. And
yes.
The other day, my sister-in-law just lost 47 pounds, and I have told her over and over, you have to start lifting weights. If you don't build that muscle, especially early, then you're just going to lose it, like you were saying. So anyway.
I love it. That is the funniest story. I love that. And she is so right, guys. And you know what's so crazy? Even before women are losing weight, some women don't like lifting weights. One, they say, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to look like a man. Hello. There's absolutely, I repeat, absolutely no way you're gonna get bulky if you're lifting weights unless you take steroids or some type of drug like that. There's no possible way. Our bodies are not made that way. I'm your biggest example, guys. After I lost my weight and I got to 155 and I kept lifting weights and my body kept getting leaner and longer and muscles started popping and they're like, Tina, stop losing weight. Actually, I wasn't losing weight. I was gaining muscle. I was getting big with the muscles, but I look leaner and longer. So you're not going to get all big and bulky by lifting weights. So women feel like that ahead of time. Another reason why women don't like lifting weights is because it's kind of hard, but we have to change our mindset. And with this right here, Joyce asked a big question. I've asked that question too. Some people say, well, you're going to be on it for the rest of your life. Well, that's probably how the doctors, and it is true. I've heard people say that for the rest of your life. Well, that's if you do that. And if you don't have the right education, right? Education is so important. And I see where Health wrote something. I'm going to read that as well. But when I say education is from the very beginning, you know, and if you're watching this right now and you say, okay, I'm going to start taking these drugs because it's hard, right? Maybe it's just health issues. You've seen a grandparent, a father, whatever, pass away because they're overweight and they're taking all these drugs and you want to correct it, but you just can't do it. You've tried and tried and tried. Okay, you take the shots, but follow it up with nutrition advice, with exercise advice. I see Stylish over there. Anyway, Stylish. I'm forgetting her name. She's part of our crew, clubhouse people.
Dr. Tangi.
Yes, thank you. Woo, Dr. I love her so much. And she is a queen. When you talk about collaboration, you know, when it comes to eating, we were in New York and we were trying to find something to eat. And it's great when you surround yourself with people that know what to do because you probably don't have to think, right? Dr. Tangi is one of those things. So when it comes to nutrition, you know you need protein. You have to have the protein. That's what's going to build your muscle. When you're working out, you're ripping your muscle fibers. Here's a test question for everyone in here right now. Test question. Number 1, doing cardio. Number 2, lifting weights. Which do you think you're going to lose more calories? You're going to burn fat more. Which one? Cardio or lifting weights? How are you going to lose weight more? Morning, David. Cardio or weights? Number 1 is cardio. Number 2 is weights. Let me see in the chat. I see a lot of 2s here, a lot of lifting weights. Aiden says cardio. Christina says cardio. Anyone else? What are your thoughts? Cardio or lifting weights?
Christina said weights.
Yes, Christina said weights. All righty. So Mary Lynn said cardio. Pounds keep coming off longer than workout after weights. All right. So for those of the people that say 1, which is cardio, you're on that treadmill, you're running and you're sweating. The sweat is coming, it's dripping. You're like, eh. So it feels like you're burning a lot of calories, right? And when you're lifting weights, you're sweating, but you're not sweating as much as if you're on doing that cardio, right? So in our minds, we think cardio, we're burning more calories, but you're actually not. Let me explain. You're doing all that cardio and it says you've burned 200 calories. Yay, yippee! You're so happy. As soon as you get off that treadmill, as soon as you stop working out, you're no longer burning calories. But my friend, if you're lifting weights, you're in the gym, you're like, you're lifting weights, you're ripping your muscle fibers. Now, after you lift weights, you want to have protein and water right away within 20 to 30 minutes so that it can build your muscles back up, right? But the muscles that you just lifted, you're burning calories for 24 to 48 hours. So that's all that time you're burning calories because you lifted weights. Where cardio, you're no longer doing it. So for all the people that said 2, lifting weights, that is the correct answer. If you have a choice of lifting weights or doing cardio, do the cardio all the time. I had Orange Theory. Yes.
This Ramon, can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
I know this is like not about the G.L.P or women's health, but may I still ask it?
Go for it.
All right. So my goal, StarzTina, is just to maintain my body as best I can. You know, try to keep a little. I'm not trim, but you know, I don't want to grow my belly. I'd like to still be able to move and run and be as healthy as I can. I'm 53. Just about every day or a couple times a week, I do a 30 to an hour power walk. I don't walk fast because when I run, it affects my knees, so I can't run. I can, but I'm careful of my knees. So, I got knee issues. The point is that I do power walk. I do pull-ups. I do some mild stretches, 6 to 7 days a week. Do pull-ups. I can do between 15, 13, probably get to 20 if I wanted to. And I'm cognizant of what I eat. Cognizant. I don't mind having pizza, soda every once in a while, whatever it is, But any thoughts on just what I'm trying to do in my life? And I don't want to take away from G.L.P, but I know you're talking about health overall, so I felt permission.
I love that. I love that.
Just guide me, not being my doctor, not knowing
yes.
my numbers, but just overall, am I okay? Or he's like, Ramon, you don't need to do this.
You definitely need to do it. So right now,
one or two of those things. Anything I'm missing, and anything that you say.
Right. So listening, if you guys heard what Ramon said, he's that person that's in the middle. He's not that person that wants to lose weight or that person that wants to gain weight. He wants to maintain where he is. And there's several people like that, right? And pretty much once you've done all the hard work, like what he just said, it's all about maintaining. So if you can do one pull-up, woo, that's great. How many pull-ups did you say you can do?
I'm on track about 15.
Wow. Okay, so that's huge. How many push-ups can you do in a row without stopping?
60. If somebody's cheering me, it'd be 60.
He said someone cheering him on, right? So right there, stretching every single day. If you're not stretching every day, I know you said a couple days a week, but every morning. And I actually put a video in the bwcdaily.com school app if you want, because that's how important stretching is. As we get older, we have to stretch. So to maintain moving your body, everything you're doing sounds great. So wherever you are, people, every day moving 30 to 45 minutes. If you're maintaining, lifting weights, definitely. Women, I'm not going to say I don't know about men, but we definitely need to lift weights to maintain at least 3 days a week. And then the eating, right? When you eat is more important than what you eat. Do not eat and then go to bed. That's the worst thing in the world, right? So Ramon, kudos to you on those pull-ups and push-ups and all that wild stuff that you're doing. I absolutely love it. All right. Health says muscle is the most metabolically active tissue in the body. The post-burn rate is greater for weight loss effects and metabolism. Cardio is good for heart health maintenance. Yes, hell, that's why I love her so much. Do you guys know your resting heart rate? Next week, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about resting heart rate, target heart rate, max heart rate, because that is so important. The average resting heart rate, and you're probably figuring out, well, how do I figure this out? If you have an Apple Watch, you can look on there. When you wake up in the morning, you can put your hand on your neck or your wrist. The average resting heart rate is 72. If it's higher than that, your heart is working very hard, right? My resting heart rate is about 45. I know, super low, because I did do a lot of cardio. So that's super important. Marilyn, do not confuse that with resting. I love that. You guys got to get in this clubhouse room. Again, go on over to bwcdaily.com for all the insights. We've got a free race happening with my community, Elevate 360. I run an online fitness boutique studio and in person here in Tampa. So if you're in the Tampa area, join our community, Elevate 360. We're doing a free virtual race this 4th of July. It's on 4th of July. It's starting at 8 a.m. For those of you that come through, you can either just join the race for free, you can get a medal, or you can get a t-shirt to go along with it. It's going to be so much fun in the community. So we've got, I'm so on track with time. I love it. Okay, so now I'm getting to my GLP-1. Let me check in the chat here. Does anyone want to chime in before we get going? Hell says, elite athletes are between 40 to 60. Oh, wow, I didn't even know that. Anyone else? You got 5 seconds before I get started.
Hi, this is Natasha. I just want to, there's side effects to those GLP-1s, like pancreatitis and low emptying of the stomach, and also you did say nausea, vomiting, which is detrimental. Also, because when they increase that dosage, that's when they really feel those symptoms. And I just want to share that. Thanks.
Really? Thank you. So if you're just chiming in, I'm Tina, and today we're talking about GL1Ps. I talked about the pros. I talked about the cons. If you were for it, if you were against it. I am for it depending on the circumstances of the person's health and how they're taking it, meaning if they're having nutrition and exercise advice. So my personal GLP, to get you going, it starts with the letter G, which is the gratitude, right? Everything starts with gratitude in my life. And when you're in a state of gratitude, it just makes everything so much easier, makes you feel good, right? So when it comes to your health, first of all, be proud of where you are. You may be overweight. You may be underweight. Be grateful that you're able to breathe, that you're able to walk, right? And that's a starting point. That is a great point for you to be, and visualize where you want to be. So just being grateful, like, you know what? I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. That is so important. The L stands for lift something. And you may not have weights at your house. You may not know what to do. Well, that's no freaking excuse, okay? Go on YouTube. You can follow me on YouTube. I have videos there. You can go to anyone's YouTube, that does fitness. There's things out there for you to watch. Ignorance is not, there's no need for you to have that because there's so much value out there. Find yourself a community to join with. That really helps when you have people to exercise with, when you have people to work out with. That is why I created my community, because I remember before I started on this journey, it was just me, right? Hi, Sabina over there in Jersey. When I started the journey, it was just me. And I was just like, I was taking classes. That's cute, right? And for those of you that are nervous, like, I don't like people. You can take the classes on YouTube. I remember one girl she started from my YouTube channel because I have classes every Saturday, virtually and in person, and it streams on YouTube. And she was on YouTube all the time. And I'm like, hey, join us. And then from YouTube, she joined us over on our Zoom link. And then that's where community started to build for her. So community can really help you. So lifting something is so, so very important. As we keep moving forward, we got the next letter, which is P. Prioritize protein. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only woman who struggles with getting her protein in. So we have a bunch of protein hacks. Recently, what I've started doing is I've been doing 2 scoops of protein in my protein, and then I add some yogurt, some Greek yogurt, some chia seeds, some flax seeds. And of course, I've got some blueberries or peanut butter or whatever in it. And it's huge. It's huge. That's like my meal 1 that I have there because I want to make sure that I get it in there. And just really working smart, not hard. And Joyce was saying how, she went out with her friends and they're like, I don't want to eat. Well, let's just say you're not hungry because you're taking this, or you're not hungry because you're sad or you're depressed, right? Make sure you're getting your protein in. I do a 24-hour fast every week on Sundays. There's a book. And if you're a woman and you're struggling or you're not struggling with your weight loss, Mindy Peltz, if I ever meet her one day, and I think I would like to meet her to say thank you, right? Thank you, Mindy Peltz. She has a book, she has YouTube, she has everything. It's called Fast Like a Girl. So if you guys didn't know, I am a fitness professional. I have been doing fitness for over 2 decades. I've helped thousands of men and women lose weight, eliminate fat, maintain all that stuff. And I was vegan for about 10 years because that was something I always wanted to do. I wanted to be in that cool group of people that we don't eat meat, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why. I just wanted that. So, and I thought it would help me lose weight. So the way I did it was I stopped eating pork. And that was pretty simple because I didn't do like the pork chop things. I stopped eating pork and I would have beef bacon. Anyone ever have beef bacon? Ooh, last week I had some with my daughter. We ate the whole pack. It was so good. So I stopped eating pork. And that was simple. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to stop eating red meat. Now, it was kind of easy to stop eating red meat because, you can have turkey meat. When you make the spaghetti and stuff, use turkey meat. So I stopped eating pork. I stopped eating red meat. I was like, hey! And the scale did not move a pound. I'm like, they lied to me. But I had more energy. I felt better. I was able to move around a bit freer, even though the scale did not move. And that's why I always say, family and friends, don't always look at the scale. Don't have your progress be from the scale because there's so many other things that go into your health and wellness. I felt better. So after I stopped eating the red meat, then I was like, okay, I'm going to stop chicken. I slowly got to the point where I stopped eating meat completely. And that was for 10 years. And it was great. It was great. And then I was 49. I remember this so clearly. As I mentioned earlier, my father passed away in his sleep when he was 49 from a massive heart attack. So I'm 49, I'm still doing the things, I'm teaching classes, and after like 30 seconds, that is what I sounded like. I'd go up a flight of stairs. I remember I went to Renee's house. I was like, by the time I got to the top, I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I went to the doctor. I don't go to the doctor. I don't like going to the doctor. So I went to the doctor and I'm like, yo, doc, something's wrong with me. He's like, okay, I'm gonna put you on the treadmill and get your heart rate to 130. I'm like, oh no, I will die if that happens because I'm always tracking my heart rate. And he's like, you gotta do it. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I didn't die. Thank goodness. He put me on the treadmill and did a stress test there. He put all these pads on me, did an EKG, and then he put a heart rate monitor on me for 2 weeks. And then I come back. I really felt like an old lady that day, guys. I'm like, can you imagine 49 years old with a heart rate monitor on? So I come back, and he was a cute little doctor. He was probably about 5'7", 5'6", and he was a little roly dumpy. So he was a little chub. He was a little chub, so he was cute. And he's got his little chart in his hand. And he's like, welcome back. How do you feel? I'm like, my heart, I still can't breathe when I exercise after 30 seconds. And he's like, well, your heart is perfect. Your organs are perfect. Everything is perfect. I said, so why can't I breathe after 30 seconds? He says, well, you see, you have bad blood. What? You have bad blood. I said, what are you talking about? I have bad blood. He says, well, Tina, your blood type is -O. Your hemoglobin levels are so low. I forget the number. I think it was like an 8 and like a 16. He says, you need to eat red meat. You need to eat, he was mentioning all the types of foods. He was like cereal. I said, Fruity Pebbles? Because he was saying all the things that was in. I said, wait a minute. You're telling me I can have Fruity Pebbles? And because what my blood needed at that point in time, Fruity Pebbles, I'm not promoting Fruity Pebbles. It's just my favorite cereal. And he's like, yeah, I know I'm overweight, but you have to, for your blood type, you need to eat red meat. So I remember, guys, I had a box of Fruity Pebbles. I finished that in 2 days. I had like a big old bowl, the bowl you make pancakes in. That's what I had my Fruity Pebbles in. But anyway, I started eating red meat again and I gained 10 pounds. And I was like, okay, not too bad. It's just 10 pounds because, I can cover that up. And then perimenopause came. And another 10 pounds came. I was just like, oh my gosh. So at this point, I'm living in Florida. I'm working out hard. I'm doing 75 hard every other month. I'm doing this. I'm joining a race club. And I gained another 5 to 7. I say 10, but it's really like 5 to 7 because you might as well round it up, right? And I'm like, what is going on? And I remember I was doing the 75 hard and they have you do a before and after picture every day. So at the end of the month, I show it to my daughter and I'm like, I've got like all these back fats or rolls happening, looking like a potato sack or, the Pillsbury dough, plop, plop. Anyway, she's looking at the picture and she says, well, what's the before and what's the after, Mom? I was like, I don't know. I'm working out so hard. I'm barely eating. I'm struggling here, guys. I've never been 52, 51 before with all these things going on. And no one warns you. No one tells you. So she's like, well, Mom, maybe you're doing the wrong types of exercise. So then I started doing some research about the types of exercise, when the eating, and that's where I'm talking about the protein right now, going back to the Mindy Peltz. She was saying you have to fast. So I say that to say last year, 2 years ago, we started the every Sunday fasting for 24 hours. I did that. And I lost about 10 pounds. I'm like, hey, yippee. And then Mindy says, well, let's just say it's not working. You have to spread that window even more. So then I started doing 36 hours and I would do it from Saturday afternoon till Monday morning. And then things were going good. It's December. Now, every quarter, I like to do a reset of my life with vision boards, manifestations, and all that stuff. So it's December. And I'm like, okay, what do I want to do for the new year? Prioritizing all things like that. And I'm on hour 36, 37, something like that. And I'm like, well, I can do 48 hours. And then my daughter says, well, Ma, you can go 21 days without eating. I was like, she's got a point. Okay, I'll do it. So in my mind, I love a challenge, anything challenging, something other people have not done. I love to do. So I was like, okay, for 21 days, I'm not going to eat. I know I need my protein. So I had water and I had protein shakes. And my goal of this is by the end, a download is going to come from God with what I need to do, with what I want to do. The download never came, guys. But I did go 21 days without eating. All I had was water and protein shakes. So as Joyce was saying earlier, sitting at the table and not eating, I understand the feeling because I was doing this special fast for myself. It's okay to not eat sometimes, but you got to get that protein in. Day 18, and I was still exercising, guys. I was in body pump class. I'm lifting weights, and I picked up the 15-pound, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so heavy. So then I started eating soup. So I say that to say we have to prioritize our protein, ladies. Look at the labels. If you like what you're hearing, join our community, tap in. I do one-on-one coaching. I do small group coaching. I've recently started back, and I've got a great surprise I'm dropping in next week. I'll share with you guys that's going to help you, because I know, 53, it's beautiful, but and you have to make it for yourself. You can't try to be like me, try to be like someone else. So when it comes to the GLP-1s, prioritize your protein. The last one is the one on there. One better choice. Every day, do one thing a little bit better than the day before. When I coach people, I used to, okay, sometimes I still kind of do it. I will throw all sorts of stuff at you. Stop eating at 7, drink more water, 7 to 8 hours, stop the stress, stretch your body. I'm throwing all these things, and you're like this. It's like, Tina, I can't do all those things. One. And I throw all those things, so maybe you'll catch one of them. It's like you put all this stuff on. When I used to work in sales, they would say, throw all the crap on the walls and everything's going to fall down, and whatever sticks, that's what's good. That's what's going to make it, right? So that's what I think about. Think of one thing that you want to stick. So as we're going through all this right here, just recapping everything, and I want to hear from you. What did you learn today? What did you like? Any questions, comments? We're talking about GLP. I'm here live on Breakfast with Champions. Go to our page, guys. If you have not joined, what is it? Type it in the chat. Somebody type it in the chat. BWCdaily.com. And when you join, make sure you say, I heard StarzTina this morning. I love this community. If you have questions, comments, topics you want us to talk about, put it in there, but make sure you go to, okay, I see Mary Lynn wrote it in the chat. Who else wrote in the chat? Let's go. Thank you, Cindy. She said she liked the section. BWCdaily.com. We talked about the pros and the cons of the GLPs. It's all about your mindset. I gave mine G, gratitude. L, live something. P, prioritize something. And 1, make one better choice each day. So I don't have a wheel, but let's just pretend this is a wheel, okay? And this is the segment of the show where you get a piece of advice. And there's 6 different segments. 1, write this in the chat for me, Renee, if you're listening. This is the Wheel of Wellness right now, and I'm going to give you a wellness tip. And the first segment is faith. These are the topics you get to choose from, and I'll answer the question from you. Faith, mindset, stress. I'm probably saying it too fast. Sorry, but if you like one, type it in the chat. Nutrition or relationships. Again, faith, fitness, nutrition, mindset, stress, relationship. Type in the chat what you want to hear. Natasha says, Natasha, I love how you break everything down. I only learn any of this medical terminology because I gave birth to twins at 25 weeks gestation who had to have blood, Love it. Thank you, guys. Okay, I see nutrition. Anyone else? Type in the chat. Faith, fitness, nutrition, mindset, stress, relationship. I'm getting a lot of nutrition in here. So let's open up the nutrition box. Hey. All right. So in the nutrition box, this is the tip, the advice that you're getting. Here we go. What's one food will help your body, but you avoid it? I would love to hear from you. What's one food will help your body, but you avoid it? You know what? I'm going to say sardines. I'm hearing a lot of people. Hi, Pam the Plug. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about sardines these days. And I don't know if I can get into them. It's like this little box with grease and Anyone else? And anyone eat sardines, into sardines? I'm just curious. Let me know.
I do. They have good nutrients. You get everything from the collagen, the protein, the minerals, everything in fish. And you buy a certain brand to me that hasn't eaten them all week. They're the best.
I love it. Maybe I'll put it in the protein shake. Put it in the blender, see if that works. All righty, crew. Again, I am Tina. Thank you so much. This is the Elevate Your Health Show. I am StarzTina here every single Wednesday at 8 a.m. When you come through here, you're going to get that motivation. I'm going to motivate you to be the best you that you can be when it comes to your health and wellness, right? And we all know motivation doesn't last that long. That's why the next thing I'm going to do is inspire you to go deep in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, so that you can be the best that you can be, so that you can get your purpose that God has for you, right? And lastly, transformation. Transform your mind, your body, your soul, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you, right? BWC, I need prayer and intervention for avocados and sardines. Avocado's a good thing. Yes, if you don't do the avocado, make sure you do that right there. All right. Ask Tina, what did you learn? That's where we are right now. The last segment. What did you learn today? Unmic and let me hear.
StarzTina, can I say something?
Go for it, girlfriend.
I tell you, I believe in everything you do. I have been a lifelong, and my kids have been exercising lifelong because we started when they were in their 20s, and I still exercise. However, I live in a senior apartment, and they do serve food, but they serve carbs, they serve sugar, they serve us the worst possible diet for a person in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, but when you're in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, the food they serve you is all comfort food, potatoes, gravy, and I don't know. I don't know how to change it because these corporations are here to make money for their investors.
I totally
People take the buck.
I totally understand and I agree with you 100%.
What do you do?
So what do you do? There's a few things you can do. So I tell my clients this all the time because we do know that food can be expensive for some people, right? One, there are food pantries all over the place. Yes, I know some food pantries do not have healthy foods. That's okay. Take what the good food is. Do not eat the bad food. So you're in a seat wherever you're living. And people say, well, there's other people in my house and they eat bad. Okay, so don't eat it. You're not going to die. So one, go to a food pantry. The second one, find yourself a community and you all do community eating, right? I remember I'm new here in Florida and I like to eat, I like to cook, but I don't like to cook all the time. If it's about 3 or 4 of you, say, you know what? You cook this meat, everyone cooks something and then you share it amongst each other. That's something you can definitely do right there. So you don't have to worry about all this food right here. Buying in bulk, going to Costco and getting a big bag of chicken, a big bag of fish, some vegetables, right? It doesn't take that much. That's another thing you can do is the community eating, purchasing food. Anyone have any other comments or suggestions in regards to eating healthy when you're on a low budget or it's not around you?
I pay $3,000 a month to live here.
Well, yes. I would definitely say write some letters too. Talk to the people up live. All right, guys, it is 8:59. I am your host. Thank you for coming through. I hope you learned something. If you liked what you learned today, go over to bwcdaily.com. I have an article there, or you can go to my website. Everything is StarzTina. I'm here every Wednesday, 8 a.m. to elevate your life. I'm throwing up the microphone, giving it over to my girl, Portia Mystique. Portia Mystique is going to tell us all about publishing books and all that great stuff. Are you ready, girl?
And before you give the mic to Portia, I want you to give the mic to her. I won't drop the mics all the time, but since this is still a relatively new segment, I just wanted to say, StarzTina, well done. Well done. I love the engagement. I love how you refer to BWC. People can find you there, search your name, engage with you more, talk with you more. So that's all I wanted to say is in this new season, as we're shifting things from BWC, what an engaging show, and I can't wait to hear every episode. It's probably going to be something different, but it was engaging as well. I learned quite a bit. And just thank you. With that being said, please uplift Portia Mystique skill and give her the resounding welcome she does. But StarzTina, I just saw your YouTube. I forgot you were live, and I looked at that. I love the color, love the border. Thought we can learn from each other. So well done. Even with the red jacket, look at all. Please uplift Portia and welcome her to the stage.
Woo!